to another edition of Park and Pin Gear. And as you know, hopefully you're subscribing and watching older videos. Because as you know, I'm a big fan of orange speakers and cabinets and things. And I often use my little PPC 108, right? I thought, man, that is just the coolest thing. Now this is just a speaker cabinet, so it needs a power amp to it. And then, well, as I was looking around, I noticed that Orange also makes a tiny combo amp, right? And it's the Orange Crush 12. Okay, so I've received 2 boxes here, and so we're gonna have an unboxing, I guess, and see what's in there. Okay, so here we go. By the way, please don't try this at home. Only trained professionals should attempt. Okay. Okay, the nice thing is I didn't have to sign for these. UPS said between 1 and 3, and sure enough, it came right about 2 o'clock. Well, I'll be darned, there's another box in here. So let me get this box opened up. Actually, let's get this box out of here. Right, and I mean this thing. Here, I'll show it to you. Let me get this one. Here it is, the Orange Crush 12. Now notice it's a little bit bigger than the PPC 108 speaker cabinet, but this includes the power amp, the guitar amp section. It's all analog, 3-band EQ, 1 channel, has an overdrive as well. 6-inch speaker, and you're thinking to yourself, man, what is that about? 6-inch speaker? Man, that's puny, right? Let me put this back. And so, I mean, you know, it's 12 watts, right? Compare that to my Harley Benton power amp pedal, which I think is 50 watts, something like that. Much more wattage. But here you've got 12 watts, right? And new. The price of these is $109. That's new. Well, I couldn't resist that. I just had to try it, right? So I ordered 2 B stocks, right, which are basically returns, really. And they've arrived, and, well, I was going to do an unboxing, but my camera battery ran out, of course. Well, one of them fared okay, right? But the other, the facing of the amp was pushed in, and the little braces came off too, so it took a big jolt. However, I unscrewed it, I pushed the baffle back out, I'm gonna have to get some wood glue and put those braces back in. Not that big a deal. But I was worried about the sound of it. Would it affect the sound? And luckily, that's not the case. Well, I wondered if it would sound any different than the little PPC 108. And sure enough, it really does. Now here I'm going to play through the little orange Crush 12, okay, as they are, and take a listen to them. I'll tell you, if that's all I had, I'd be kind of disappointed, honestly. It's got the mid-range and the highs, but no lows. And it sounds puny! Puny! Small. And kind of boxy, too, and kind of mid-rangey. Right? So I'd be kind of disappointed, honestly. However, keep in mind, with my setup, remember I use a bass amp. And man, when you add a bass amp, it changes everything. Here, try this. Fender Rumble 25, right, which is a 25 watt bass amp, right? I think it's got an 8-inch speaker or something like that. But take a listen to what it does to this Crush 12. Unbelievable. I just can't even believe it. I mean, that is just unbelievable, really. I mean, it turns these little orange Crush 12s into a really decent, great sounding, man, guitar sound, right? It sounds like I'm playing through a huge amp to here, inside the room. I don't know how well it translates with just the little camera on the camera audio. But I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. And now I'm beyond thrilled at the sound of it, and to think that, these were, new $100, basically. I mean, that's incredible. And I had my suspicions that it would be this way because of my experience with the PPC 108. A little tiny cabinet, right? Which is weird because it has a bigger speaker than these, but smaller cabinet. So it shows you cabinet size makes a difference. But man, when you add the bass, I'm just, wow, stunned. And so I'm definitely sold on these, and not only is it a great sound, but I mean, these are, pretty light. I mean, let's put it this way, the UPS guy when he brought them, right, he carried both at once. Both boxes, so that tells you something. And with the handles, really, it's a no-brainer. It's very, very light. But what I like most is definitely the price. $100? Are you kidding me? And it sounds like a much more expensive amp when you've got the bass going. I mean, take a listen to this. It's just crazy. Just the sound, that's the thing that is a surprise to me, honestly. For whatever reason, well, it sounds really crappy without the bass amp, because you're getting all those mid-ranges and treble, but no low end, right? But man, you add that bass amp, takes care of everything. And that's what I was really surprised about, was the actual sound quality, right? And it's not tube, I mean, it's solid state. But the sound is just great. I mean, I just love that sound. Wow. Big surprise. And I thought it'd be more like the PPC 108, which is great, it's fine. But it doesn't quite have the, I don't know what to say, the sparkle maybe of the orange Crush 12. Now take away the bass amp and it'd be sad. But add the bass amp and it's unbelievable, the sound. I could certainly gig with it easily. Hard to believe. I mean, basically you bring a pedal, whatever it is, whether it's the Nux MG300 or the Plethora X5, and then you bring a bass amp and the 2 guitar amps, and optionally, if you wanted to, the crossovers. You don't necessarily have to use them, but... And the sound quality is just amazing. Wow, that's a big surprise. $100 new. And I looked up used and things, and basically by the time you pay everything, tax or shipping or whatever, it's basically $100. So you might as well get a new one. Yeah, in fact, honestly, I might get 2 more of these. I mean, I'm just stunned by the sound quality. Wow. I mean, I've just added reverb, it's coming from the Plethora X5, and that's it. expecting it to be this good, honestly. Oh, and by the way, I have all the settings on the two orange amps, including the EQ and everything, pretty much at 5, right in the middle. So I could crank up the bass, the middle, the treble, the volume and the gain. And interestingly, remember this is a single channel amp, but it has an overdrive as well. And let's say I turn that up to 5. This is the overdrive at 5. Much louder. So if you really had to, you could use the overdrive. In fact, let's try that. Just add a hint of overdrive. And man, it boosts the volume. I would say at the expense of clarity, but not that much. But it does boost the volume. So really it boosts the volume basically at low levels and doesn't really distort all that much, even though it's the distortion, you know. Almost kind of like a boost kind of thing. You'd never guess that this sound is coming out of these little tiny orange crushed 12s. I'm blown away, really. Wow. I mean, for the price and the size, and I've seen the speaker, and man, it's tiny. Little 6-inch speaker. But the sound quality is awesome. It has the orange voice of the world speaker. I'm truly impressed. So let me turn down the overdrive here. We don't need it. There we go. And I'll show you the difference in sound here. Has that clarity That sounds very much like that. The scene in the movie Christine, where the kid sees the car, right? And he says the line, which I think is the funniest line. He says, "Man, no matter what you're asking for, it's not enough." Well, here, this is the same kind of thing, because I'm truly blown away by the sound. Just wow. Super impressed. Yet it's Orange's tiniest amp. So to say I'm impressed is quite something. I'll tell you a story about Orange amps. They make an amp called the CR60, right? Which is a 60-watt solid state amp that is supposed to be as close to tubes as possible, right? And I bought 2 of them. The problem was it was as expensive as a tube amp, right? So I ended up returning them. However, this makes me think, man, I wonder if I shouldn't get a used, CR60, maybe for not quite as much as a new price. Because, man, I'm just blown away by the sound. Wow. And I love the idea that they're like $100, right? And with Sweetwater Easy Pay, I mean, you're talking about maybe $35 a month. So 3 payments of $35. 2-year warranty, free shipping. And let us not forget the Sweetwater complimentary candy. Just saying. Man, I must be a Sweetwater fanboy. Right? I'm totally blown away by these little Orange amps, really. Now, again, you know, if I didn't have the bass amp, I'd be kind of disappointed, right? But somehow, it, maybe just by luck or what, but the little orange cabinets have everything as far as the mids and the highs, right? Which with my setup is exactly what you want to hear out of the guitar cabinets, and then the bass handles the low end. Very interesting. Very interesting. Honestly, it makes me rethink my $1,400 Mezzo Boogie heads. I might sell those. Anyway, I think I was really quite lucky because I love the sound of it. Here I've got the delay and reverb. Now keep in mind, you know, if you decide to buy one of these, because they're $100, you know, without the bass amp, it might be a little disappointing. Here's without the bass amp. Yeah, it might be disappointing because the sound is kind of small. Yeah, the sound is kind of small. Okay. Okay, I mean, if you were to buy it, you know, it would sound basically like this. I mean, and there we got the bass all the way up, and there you can hear it's kind of distorting, you know, because you're trying to make that little 6-inch speaker doodad. Yeah. Play the bass part, and you know, a 6-inch speaker, it's not going to handle a lot of bass. Now keep in mind, I'm running through my crossover, and it's intentionally cutting the bass so it sounds puny. You'd be like, what is that? You know, sounds like you're playing through headphones or something. But then the secret weapon is the bass amp, and then all of a sudden you get this. Keep in mind that the strings are actually kind of old here. However, the orange makes them sound a lot newer than they are, if that's a word, you know. More new. Stunned. Wow. And they have a very different sound to the PPC 108 little cabinet, you know, which is also about $100. So anyway, I'm stunned. Wow. Wow. And I guess that's the thing with this kind of setup, you can get away with playing much smaller cabinets and make them sound pretty good, right? So I'm quite impressed, in fact. Yeah, and again, this kind of setup is very much like the, I don't know if you've seen the surround systems where they have a subwoofer and then tiny little satellites. It's the same basic idea here. But wow, the sound is really great. $100. Very nice. Okay, very good. I'll see you next time. Okay.